Intelligence without love is foolishness, and love without intelligence is foolishness. Dear brothers and sisters, today we reflect on a profound truth. Intelligence without love is foolishness, and love without intelligence is foolishness. This saying reminds us of the delicate balance needed in life. God has gifted us with both wisdom and love, and neither can function properly without the other. When we rely only on intelligence, we may become prideful, cold, and insensitive, but when we rely only on love without wisdom, we may become blind, reckless, and easily deceived. The Bible teaches us that true wisdom comes from God, and true love is guided by His truth. Number 1. Intelligence without love is dangerous. The Bible warns us against wisdom that lacks compassion. 1 Corinthians 8:1 says, "Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. A person who is only intelligent but lacks love becomes arrogant and indifferent to others." The Pharisees in Jesus' time were highly knowledgeable about the law, but their hearts were hardened. They lacked love and failed to recognize Christ. True intelligence should lead us to serve others, not to elevate ourselves. The Bible warns us against wisdom that lacks compassion. 1 Corinthians 8:1 states, "Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up." This verse highlights the danger of intelligence that is disconnected from love. When a person possesses great knowledge but lacks compassion, their wisdom becomes a tool for pride rather than a means to help others. They may excel in understanding, but their intelligence serves only to elevate themselves instead of uplifting those around them. Throughout history, we have seen how intelligence without love leads to arrogance and indifference. The Pharisees in Jesus' time were highly knowledgeable about the law, but their hearts were hardened. They memorized scriptures, understood religious doctrines, and prided themselves on their wisdom. However, their knowledge became a source of self-righteousness rather than a path to humility and service. They judged others harshly, looked down upon sinners, and failed to recognize the very Messiah they had been waiting for. Their intelligence led them to legalism rather than love, and their wisdom turned into a stumbling block rather than a guiding light. True intelligence should always lead a person toward service and humility. When wisdom is accompanied by love, it seeks to guide, uplift, and encourage rather than condemn, control, or manipulate. A knowledgeable person should use their understanding to help others grow, not to make them feel inferior. Jesus demonstrated this balance perfectly. Though he had infinite wisdom, he never used it to belittle or oppress. Instead, he used his knowledge to heal, teach, and restore. He corrected with love and instructed with patience, always seeking the good of those he taught. A short but excellent example of intelligence without love can be seen in the story of a brilliant professor. He was well versed in science, philosophy, and literature. His students admired his intellect, and his colleagues respected his expertise. However, he had a habit of mocking those who did not understand as quickly as he did. Whenever a student asked a question, instead of guiding them with patience, he would respond with sarcasm or ridicule. Over time, his students began to fear him rather than learn from him. Though he was intellectually gifted, his lack of compassion made him an ineffective teacher. His wisdom, instead of building up, pushed others away. One day, a struggling student approached him privately and said, "Sir, I admire your knowledge, but I wish you would also have patience with us. We want to learn, but your words make us feel small." The professor was taken aback. He realized that his intelligence had become a source of pride rather than a tool for guidance. From that day forward, he made an effort to teach with both wisdom and kindness, ensuring that his knowledge became a source of encouragement rather than discouragement. This story illustrates the truth that intelligence, when not guided by love, becomes an instrument of arrogance rather than a blessing. True wisdom is not just about knowing much. It is about using that knowledge to serve, uplift, and bring others closer to truth and goodness. Number 2. Love without intelligence can be misguided. Love is a powerful force, but without wisdom, it can be misplaced, naive, or even harmful. Proverbs 19:2 says, "Desire without knowledge is not good, how much more will hasty feet miss the way?" We see this in relationships where people act out of blind love and ignore red flags, compromise their values, or support wrongdoing. Even in ministry, good intentions without wisdom can lead people astray. That is why we are called to have a discerning spirit. 1 John 4:1. Love is one of the most powerful forces in life, but without wisdom and discernment, it can become misguided, naive, or even harmful. Proverbs 19:2 warns us, "Desire without knowledge is not good, how much more will hasty feet miss the way?" This verse highlights the danger of acting on emotions alone without the guidance of wisdom. While love is a beautiful and essential virtue, it must be rooted in understanding and truth. Otherwise, it can lead people to make poor choices, compromise their values, or even enable harmful behavior. One of the clearest examples of love without intelligence is seen in relationships. Many people become so emotionally attached that they ignore obvious red flags. A person may deeply love someone who is dishonest, manipulative, or even abusive, yet they convince themselves that their love will change them. They excuse bad behavior, hoping that patience and sacrifice will be enough to transform the other person. This kind of blind love leads to heartbreak and suffering because it is not guided by wisdom. Love should uplift and protect, not cause a person to abandon their self-respect and values. Similarly, in ministry, good intentions without wisdom can lead people astray. 1 John 4:1 instructs us, "Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God." This verse reminds us that discernment is necessary even in acts of love and faith. There have been cases where people, in their eagerness to serve, have followed false teachers or supported harmful doctrines. They may have been driven by love for God, but without the wisdom to distinguish truth from deception, their well-meaning actions led them down the wrong path. Love alone is not enough. It must be paired with understanding. A short but excellent example of this principle can be seen in the story of a kind-hearted mother. She loved her son dearly and wanted to give him the best life possible. Every time he made a mistake, whether lying, skipping school, or disrespecting others, she forgave him immediately without any correction. She thought that unconditional love meant always supporting him, no matter what. Over time, her son became irresponsible, taking advantage of her kindness and continuing his bad behavior. When he grew older and faced real consequences, he was unprepared because his mother had never taught him discipline or accountability. One day, after getting into serious trouble, the son finally told his mother, "I wish you had guided me instead of just protecting me. I needed both your love and your wisdom." At that moment, she realized that love alone had not been enough. Her son had needed instruction, correction, and boundaries as well. This story illustrates that love, when not guided by intelligence, can become enabling rather than empowering. True love does not just feel, it also thinks. It does not simply protect, but also teaches, corrects, and leads. Love and wisdom must work together, ensuring that our actions are not just well-intentioned, but also truly beneficial for those we care about. Number 3. The perfect balance, love and wisdom together. Jesus himself demonstrated the perfect balance between wisdom and love. When he forgave the sinner, he also instructed them to go and sin no more, John 8:11. He did not just love without guiding, nor did he just teach without compassion. James 3:17 tells us that the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. True intelligence should lead us to love, and true love should be guided by wisdom. In life, the perfect balance between love and wisdom is essential. If we only rely on intelligence, we risk becoming cold and detached. If we only focus on love, we may become blind to truth and make poor decisions. Jesus Christ demonstrated the perfect harmony of these two qualities, showing that true wisdom leads to love, and true love must be guided by wisdom. One of the most powerful examples of this balance is seen in John 8:11, where Jesus encounters a woman caught in adultery. The religious leaders wanted to stone her, following the strict law, but Jesus responded with both wisdom and compassion. He did not dismiss the seriousness of her sin, nor did he condemn her harshly. Instead, after challenging those without sin to cast the first stone, he forgave her and said, "Go and sin no more." This response reflects divine wisdom. Jesus showed mercy, but he also provided guidance. He did not allow love to ignore the need for correction, nor did he let justice overshadow compassion. This principle is reinforced in James 3:17, which says, "The wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere." Godly wisdom is not just about intelligence, it includes kindness, mercy, and sincerity. True wisdom is not about winning arguments or proving superiority. It is about leading others to righteousness in a way that is both firm and compassionate. In practical life, we see many situations where love and wisdom must work together. A good teacher, for example, does not just pour knowledge into students without care. A wise and loving teacher understands that learning is more than memorizing facts. It requires patience, encouragement, and understanding. If a student struggles, a teacher must offer support while also maintaining high expectations. If they are too strict, the student may become discouraged. If they are too lenient, the student may never grow. The best teacher knows when to challenge and when to encourage, balancing love and wisdom to bring out the best in their students. A simple but powerful example of this balance can be seen in parenting. Imagine a father who deeply loves his child. If he only focuses on love, he may spoil the child, never setting boundaries or enforcing discipline. The child may grow up believing they can do whatever they want without consequences. On the other hand, if the father only focuses on wisdom, strict rules, and discipline, without warmth, the child may become resentful and distant. But a truly wise and loving parent knows that both are needed. They correct their child when they do wrong, but they also express love and encouragement, ensuring the child grows in both character and confidence. This is the model Jesus set for us. He was not just a teacher of truth, he was a loving Savior. He did not just love without correcting, he did not just correct without loving. His wisdom and love worked in perfect unity, guiding people to righteousness while embracing them with grace. For us, this means that in all our interactions, whether with family, friends, or in leadership, we must seek this balance. We should never use wisdom as an excuse to be harsh, nor should we use love as an excuse to ignore the truth. True intelligence should lead us to love, and true love should be guided by wisdom. When we follow this path, we reflect the very nature of Christ, who taught, corrected, forgave, and led people with both divine wisdom and boundless love. Dear friends, let us seek both wisdom and love. One without the other is incomplete. Let our knowledge be humble and our love be wise. May we learn from Jesus, who spoke the truth in love, acted with wisdom, and showed us the perfect way to live. Let us pray for hearts full of love and minds guided by divine wisdom.